All global, thank you to you all. I know I only have 6 minutes, so getting right to it. Quency Phillips, founder and executive director of Lighthouse, Silicon Valley. Also have Bobby Reyes here as my JEDI, co-pilot. And what we have done and what you see in front of you or will be seeing in front of you is a JEDI toolkit to help us all broaden participation in all areas of our work. Next slide, please. As Doug mentioned this, NSF has made it clear we need to open our doors to varying schools of thought and lived experiences. Since the beginning of the year, NSF has dropped a new mixtape, headline, colleague letter, etc., on a monthly basis, each with the same chorus of broadening participation, finding the missing millions, and looking outside of ourselves and establishing a sense of belonging for all. That's why Lighthouse is here, providing a brighter beacon and resource to this work. Next slide, please. This toolkit should be considered or viewed like a 100-level course or the bottom layer of the hierarchy of needs pyramid, providing you with the basic instructions to broaden learning experiences for all. I'm a preacher's kid. It's a little Bible, joke right there, but a toolkit to inform your use-inspired journey. At the 100 level, we have the following table of contents broken down into internal and external paths to inclusive and equitable engagement. As with most 100-level courses, there's room for growth. So please note that there are 200 and 300 levels as well, as some of us have been at this for a long time. Next slide, please. Setting the tone is key. In the end, we all should be thinking of ways to sing the same chorus with harmonies. Every voice should be heard, and this section prepares you in a spirit of collective impact. We'll let this hold for a second, let it marinate. All right, next slide, please. In the JEDI world, one should become familiar with the terms othering and belonging. We want to reduce othering, which means no separate and unequal treatment. Be careful with creating tiered system of engagement where one position and or title is viewed above another. We get it. We love our titles. We love who we are. We like to differentiate ourselves, but in the JEDI spirit, more belonging, please. And belonging provides a space for everyone to, 1, feel prepared, 2, feel equipped, and 3, desire to have their thoughts matter and their voice being heard. For example, if you're including tribal communities, we should be prepared to acknowledge the land that we are on. I'm greeting you from the Yakutsk region of Central Valley, California. Many of us met at Boise State University or Shoshone-Bannock land. Next slide. Want to make your work and path to JEDI easier? Establish a feedback loop. Real simple. You are not alone, and many would love to be involved. A feedback loop ensures that you provide areas of connection and improvement towards your goal. It also allows you to figure out if you got your message across or what ways you can better connect and cultivate the impact you truly desire, while also tracking your progress in a qualitative way. More narratives, more storytelling, less about the numbers. Next slide, please. You all might remember this, but equity costs more. No free labor. What may start as volunteerism needs to evolve into something sustainable for all involved. If you're hosting an event at your institution, what are the barriers that may limit one from participating? Transportation, childcare, work. Are there students there? A lot of us love food, love water. We need to also just be thinking about establishing an early path to funding or being very clear in explaining what you can offer to your volunteers. Sometimes it might be a LinkedIn or resume opportunity, right? There's so many ways that we can value one's time, and we need to really be thinking more intentionally around that. Long-term engagement will require funding. This section of the toolkit will help you navigate those steps to long-term engagement and participation. Next slide, please. I don't know if you hear helicopters or not, but they're out here. Establish clear objectives, outcomes, and phases. Again, let me say that again. Establish clear objectives, outcomes, and phases. Jen and Mike have modeled this for us. These presentations were formed through working groups. More of this, please. And as an example, in the Lighthouse world, our 9 working groups turned into a funded 501c3 organization. What started as Bridge to Recovery, similar to this microlab series, evolved into our 2-year-old organization, having received funding and support from the likes of Google, philanthropy, local government, higher education, and others. It's not easy, yet it has been done before and can be replicated. And please, with NSF, JD, I see you there, a lot more replication and duplication. That's our ability to scale. Next slide, please. Hopefully I'm good on time. We're here to help at Lighthouse. What you see is a 3-year period of progress. With Stanford University, you'll see JEDI principles being called out on their website. You'll see community and government partnership, and you'll see larger grants with partners like NSF, National Institute of Health, as well as the National Cancer Institute. We worked with Jen more recently to develop a program, this JEDI Trust program, that can be scaled to meet the needs of your institutions. That's our goal. While we have Silicon Valley attached to our name, we're about placemaking, not being place-based. Our beacon is bright enough to include you all. Next slide, please, and I believe that's the last slide. Hit that QR code. Nice little evolved explanation and description of who we are at Lighthouse. But at the end of the day, we want to let you know that you can establish your own path to being a JEDI, and we're here to help you. So on behalf of Lighthouse, Bobby, our team of JEDIs, Jen, JD, Mike, KI, Storm, all of you, thank you for listening, and we look forward to engaging with you all. Questions, please.
All right, Q, one question for you. Do you have a budget line info for a workshop to train NSF grants in using your toolkit?
I do. Who is that? We do. Yes. Do I answer that question? Well, it's a sliding scale depending on the size, right? If we just did a workshop that's similar to something like this, that's 90 minutes, 3 hours, we've done a few. And we do have a line item towards that. I don't want to call that out because I also don't want to be boxed in. But really, it would be us understanding a little bit more of what the outcome is intended to be, because we don't like to do one-offs. So at the end of the day, if there's one workshop, we believe that there should be quarterly workshops, and then also the ability to engage in a virtual space or even in our own office hours. But for less than 100 grand, we can get this thing going with all of us that is on this call. So if you all are willing to support us, please hit that QR code, let us know, and I'm sure I will get something over to JD and NSF ASAP.
Okay, that kind of leads into the next question. This will be our last question. How quickly can you scale after funding?
Oh, we're ready. We're already, doing it now. Again, we have 3 that we're already doing out here in the Bay Area. We're ready. We're ready. So if you want to get this started next month, let me know. We can make it happen.
We had one more. I'm going to jump in real quick. Would this training only come from Lighthouse, or is the vision that this would be available outside of Lighthouse?
We would, as it evolved, our ability to scale would also be bringing in additional partners. So we also build the capacity of this JEDI so that others can take on this as well. Like, our goal with any of this is to replace ourselves. So over a period of time, we would help an institution or organizations to be able to do this on their own, so that, as more staff, as more students, as more opportunities and projects come, you can hold that water yourself.
Awesome. All right. Thank you very much, Quency.